Good morning, Michelle Saxman here, and ready to share with you some time with Jesus Calling by Sarah Young on October the 12th. Beware of seeing yourself through other people's eyes. There are several dangers to this practice. First of all, it is nearly impossible to discern what others actually think of you. Moreover, their views of you are variable, subject to each viewer's spiritual, emotional, and physical condition. The major problem with letting others define you is that it borders on idolatry. Your concern to please others dampens your desire to please me, your Creator. It is much more real to see yourself through my eyes. My gaze upon you is steady and sure, untainted by sin. Through my eyes, you can see yourself as one who is deeply, eternally loved. Rest in my loving gaze, and you will receive deep peace. Respond to my loving presence by worshiping me in spirit and in truth. Well, I kind of have two takeaways on this one. And the first one is when we really try to act like, when I say we care what someone else thinks. Because generally what we're doing is we're projecting either our insecurities or we're projecting our desire onto other people. And we have no clue what their experience has been, what they're thinking about, what their life circumstances, any traumas that they've ever experienced, challenges that their season they're currently in. We have no idea what they're going through, much less trying to be a mind reader thinking, what do they think of me and what I'm going through or what I just did or what have you. And then the second one is about seeing ourselves through our Father's eyes. So those are my two takeaways. The first one I want to spend a few more minutes on, and that is how my point of being that we tend to project our insecurities or our desires onto what someone else is thinking of us. And what I mean by that is years ago, we were at a Little League baseball game and I felt like, oh my gosh, my son is acting up. He was on second base or doing something. And I don't know if he was mouthing off to another team player. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I was like so focused on my kid. And I was like, oh my gosh, is he going to get kicked out of the game? Blah, 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 blah. And then later I went to talk to another parent. I was like, oh my gosh, how about whatever? And she was so focused on what her kid was doing. And he was like drifting off in the outfield. And so here I am thinking someone I go to church with is going to be looking at my son. I think he was talking back to an umpire about a call. And I was like, he was young too. And I was like, but really we're all focused on our own insecurities. And so I was thinking my son was being inappropriate and disrespectful. And this other person's like, my son's out there like pulling weeds and not paying attention. So projecting onto someone else's experience, that would be the one. The other one is sometimes it's our desires that we project. And that would be my example of that one is like one time for me in particular, I was at church and I see someone going up for communion and she had beautiful shoes on. And y'all, I immediately projected, I bet she has an incredible relationship with her husband, because we all go through those marital seasons. For a friend of mine, it was like, oh my gosh, I bet she probably talks to her daughter every single day. So we take something that someone has, these were just like, I'll say a great pair of shoes. And I project, oh, I bet she's got a great marriage. Y'all, her husband had passed. She was a widow. But we tend to project these stories onto other people. And if you're going through a difficult relationship with someone in your life and you look at something that someone else has that you desire and you're like, oh, I bet they have the rest of the story. We have no idea what other people are going through. So don't waste your energy or your time thinking of that. So then let's go to the second part. And this, I'm going to talk about the sin. Again, the separation with our Heavenly Father is and what I refer to as the definition of sin, not the litany of behaviors. It's the times that we separate. But this led me to how can we allow ourselves to see ourselves from our Father's perspective, from our Heavenly Father, our Creator's perspective. And that led me to contemplating the definition of perfection. And the earthly definition of perfection is without one flaw, perfect by whatever it is that we're seeking, without one flaw. But our Heavenly Father doesn't define perfection that way. He's actually like, oh, where are you? And I like to say sometimes I'm a mess on the kitchen floor. That's okay. That's perfect. I'll take you from right where you are. Our Heavenly Father meets us wherever we are, and that circumstance is perfect for the next lesson and the next blessing. So, perfection from a cultural definition versus perfection from our Heavenly Father's perspective. So just two takeaways on that one: not projecting things into other people's mindset, wasting our time. I say it's that the cross, looking up and down and left to right. We spend too much time looking left to right. We've disconnected from our Heavenly Father. So y'all have a super blessed day. Stay connected to the vine. Know that you are perfect right where you are for the next lesson and the next blessing. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.